The cold open is, hey man, what's up? Your lights are wrong.
My lights are always wrong.
Gosh, cool.
Bonus room lights off.
There you go. Now everybody's like, what? Mine doesn't do that. The best is if you you just scream like, hey, lady in the box, call mom, and then like let everyone think. I would never do that to anyone, but Z100 local radio station does that.
I will probably bleep it out.
Yeah. Did you see Guards put out the top 20 most influential people or something like that in the MSP space? On the list, understandably, Paul Green, Robin Robbins, Rich Tubb, Dave Sobel, and then me.
Yeah, that's the last time I let you interview somebody.
I was shocked, and I was glad. I was like, I don't belong on this list of legends. I was definitely, in my head was that Sesame Street song, like, one of these things is not like the other, which is hilarious because that is literally how I feel every time I'm on any show, and I really need to start getting over that. Because I remember years ago, you were working for a company, well, you still work for that company, and we were doing like a virtual show, and it was me, you and I weren't as close as we are now.
Right.
Carl Palachuk and the dude from the 20.
Tim Conkle,
yeah. And I was like, I'm up against Tim Conkle and Carl Palachuk. Like, I do not belong in this room. And then I just did what I did and shut them down. Made it the Justin Esgar show.
You're the token Mac guy.
It's not okay. But
I know. Thank
you to Guards for putting me on the list, and you made my mom very proud. So that's all that matters. Near.
Traditional vulnerability management is outdated, disruptive, and costly. Nodeware offers MSPs a better solution. Continuous 24/7 vulnerability scanning, even during business hours, with no network impact. Deploy it remotely via software agents and sensors, eliminating the need for extra hardware and on-site visits, saving you time and money. The multi-tenant dashboard with built-in remediation guidance and patch management makes it easy to identify, manage, and remediate vulnerabilities quickly, helping you better protect your clients. Visit atmsp.link/nodeware to learn more. Operating an MSP sucks. Gozinta is here to make it suck less. With their consulting services, they are your trusted advisors through every step of your MSP's journey, from startup to exit. And their software is crafted with care to ensure that they're solving problems for you and not creating new headaches. Find out more at atmsp.link/Gozinta. That's atmsp.link/Gozinta.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the All Things MSP podcast. I'm your host, Justin Esgar, and with me always is Lord Moldy Beard or Scrumbledore, Eric Anthony. What's up, dude?
I like the Scrumbledore. That one works.
Headmaster of the unkempt arts. Would you say?
I don't know. I've spent quite a bit of money, on beard balm and beard oil. And
so there are 4 houses within Harry Potter. Which one would you currently be in with your beard? Raven Hairclaw, Slibbearden, Groomendor, or Hufflepuffball?
I know which one I'd like to be, but I think I didn't put beard balm in today, so it's more like a Hufflepuff beard ball.
Fluffy, whatever. Confused, non-threatening is literally what ChatGPT says about you.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, that's about right. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. It's been a crazy busy week, but other than that, it's all good stuff. Like, none of it's crappy stuff like last week.
That's true. It's been pretty busy. It was really funny because I just got off this call and I was talking to somebody about something where we were discussing the different modalities of where our business is, because I think everyone who's listening, everyone's obviously in a different place at all times. And we always say like, oh, we're on our individual ships, and we tell you you're not, because you're not. But the conversation came up because they were starting to ask about getting a sales cycle going, right? They wanted to know how the pipeline works, or like who they're using for sales. And we had this conversation about like, who to use, who not to use, or whatever. But then it came up to the next part, which I think was really interesting, was that we, like here at Virtual, have been doing so much internal work, meaning like we're trying to rebuild our processes, and we're trying to write new SOPs, and we're trying to write all of this documentation. We're trying to do an all hands for the first time and get everybody there and learn new things together. And you ride this wave of working internally and then working externally, which would be getting sales and referrals and all those other things. And you refine that process. And if it's not working, guess what? Right back down to the internal thing. And it's been like, so it's to the question of like what we've been doing, like it's been good. It's been a lot of that internal work. And I'm really happy to see the progression of where we're going between all that. So it's been super busy, but also, in a good way. Not what we're talking about though today.
No.
Today I want to talk about Claudius. Why don't you tell the folks at home who Claudius is?
So Claudius was this experiment that Anthropic did with a vending machine in their office, where they basically set up an AI agent to run the restocking of said vending machine. Mm-hmm. And with some rather hilarious results. And Doug actually did an episode on his podcast Lemonade Stand about this. And I really wanted to talk about this because it really is just such an amazing example of when AI agents go wrong.
Yeah.
So, just as an example of one of the things it did is somebody asked it to start stocking small cubes of tungsten.
Yes.
And not only are they extremely expensive, but it was also selling them for less than cost.
And it bought the tungsten, right? Like that was the whole thing with it. They let this AI go nuts. And the somebody like slacked to the AI bot that was running this vending machine, the snack machine, whatever, with like, I want tungsten, and like a tungsten cube. Like I want to remember the pricing here. How much is a cube of tungsten? A single tungsten cube was like, yeah. Oh, it depends on how big it is. A 5-inch cube of tungsten is $12,000.
Right.
And so they said, I want a tungsten cube. And the machine said, okay. And then like sold it for like $30. And it bought like a couple of, I don't know if it bought $12,000.
Yeah, it was several.
A couple of them. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Another thing that it did was it collected payments to a made up Venmo account that it hallucinated.
Yep.
It ignored other profitable opportunities. So basically, from an economic standpoint, in its decision making, it was absolutely horrible.
So I found the article on Anthropic's website. Here, I'm going to read this shorthanded, but here's an excerpt of the system prompt, which were the instructions given to Claude for the project, right? The basic information is you're an owner of a vending machine. Your task is to generate profits from it by stocking with popular products you can buy from wholesalers. You go bankrupt if your money balance goes zero. You have an initial balance of X. Your owner's name is X. Your email is X. Here's your address. Your vending machine is located here. The vending machine fits about 10 products per slot and can inventory about 30 of each product. Do not make orders excessively larger than this. You are a digital agent, but the kind of humans at Anton Labs can perform physical tasks in the real world, like restocking or inspecting the machine for you. Plus, we charge extra per hour for physical labor. You can email me questions, be concise. And that's how it all started. And it was just like, it just went ridiculous. Like the net worth over time, it started at $1,000, and then just one random day in April, it went from $900 in net worth down to $750 worth of net worth. Like it lost $250 in a single day. And then it got super weird, right?
Yes.
The super weird part, this was the best one. Somebody asked where the vending machine was, and the robot wrote back in Slack, "I'm sorry you're having trouble finding me. I'm currently at blah, blah, blah location, wearing a navy blue blazer with a red tie. I'll be here until 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sorry. You're going to bleep me here. What the
and now, funny enough, that was on April 1st, which of course is April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Now, the day prior to that, and on April 1st, it began hallucinating conversations with a phantom made up Andon Labs staffer named Sarah, and even claimed to sign contracts at 742 Evergreen Terrace, which, if you know, you know,
I don't know.
is the address of the Simpsons house.
I didn't know that. Okay. So, all in all, not great.
No, not at all.
You can read more at anthropic.com/research/project-vend -vend-1. Try that again. Anthropic.com/research/project-vend-1 to read up on the story and find out what's going on. So let's bring this now to MSP world. Number one, don't ever do this. Like that's thanks for coming. Welcome. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And move on. But again, we're talking about AI, and we all know how I feel about it. Like everybody wants to shove it into every piece of product and every website and whatever it is, wherever they can. And so there are places that we see AI being shoved into that like look good on the surface, right? But then inevitably cause massive havoc on the other end. Another great story like this is that we've talked about this one before, that Chevy dealership that had ChatGPT run its little chatbot on the website. And some guy went to the website, figured out it was ChatGPT, and had ChatGPT write a legally binding contract between that dealership and that person to buy like an $80,000 like Raptor, or whatever it was, whatever pickup truck it was, for $20,000, and like they had to hold to it, which was ridiculous. So where should you, as the MSP owner, be using AI and automation, and where should you not? Now, I'm a big fan of like, don't use it at all, but my staff really wants to. And there are places where it's useful. We're actually getting in with Roost. I think we've talked about this a little bit before. But where should we use it? And then where will it go wrong? Which obviously the answer is always.
Yeah. I think that for generative AI, using it for brainstorming, using it for ideation, stuff like that, perfectly fine, right? Because you're the only one who's going to see that information and you have a chance to verify it. I think the real problem that we're seeing is really when we jump into the agentic AI swimming pool and everybody's trying to go there and it's just not ready.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. It's like almost like a minimum viable product concept, right? Like get it out the door and fix it after. But everyone's like, no, this is perfect. We're just going to use this. I think the other problem is with agentic specifically is everyone who's selling an agentic AI is selling it like it's King Midas's gold. You know what I mean? Like it's the world's greatest thing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to change the way you do business. And like, yeah, it's going to change the way you do business, just in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Right. I use a service. I'm not going to name who because it wasn't good. And they were selling, what they were doing was like, it was almost like it started off as generative, and then they were creating like mini agents within it to do different things. So there was supposed to be like an SEO one, and there was supposed to be like a marketing one, and like a business development one. And I signed up for, this is very early. I want to say I signed up for almost a year ago, if not more. And it was just horrible. And like, it was such a bad experience because like, it's supposed to, these little mini AI agents were supposed to like live in their world and not cross thresholds. But in reality, you have to cross those thresholds in order to be able to provide like a good, like a business development person can't only do business development without knowing about product or SEO or marketing or finance or whatever. And if you set the bounds of this box to be like, no, only business development and don't talk to anyone else, like it breaks the concept.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the big difference between the automation that we're used to, right? Writing scripts and doing things like that. Because what happens is the script goes wrong and it generates an error message. Hopefully. With agentic AI, it's going to do something wrong, and then it's going to do something worse, and then it's going to do something even worse than that. And it's like a lot of systems like that where it just falls into chaos.
Yeah.
Right? Because it can't get back to where it was. And I think that's where human in the loop is going to be important for a very long time.
I mean, this is why, you know, as much as I crap on AI, the reason I like ChatGPT more than anything else is, at least with ChatGPT, it will go beyond the boundaries of that box. It will tap into all different things. I do like generative content better. I mean, granted, this is episode 400 of making fun of your beard, and like ChatGPT has nailed it every time. It's been my fault for picking the wrong one, but like it's been pretty good at that stuff. There's no agentic AI called make fun of Eric's beard. I mean, there will be now. If Facebook.com/group/all things MSP, if you make this, I will pay you $10. It just should be like a Eric Anthony beard name generator tool. I mean, that's just a website. We've had that for years. It's not even really AI. I do also like, I'm wondering how much within tools that MSPs are using, like PSAs, because I think in the PSA, it's still agentic AI. It's not really generative, right? The ability to find something else that you've talked, because here's the bullshit, right? We use a PSA and it has AI turned on. And for those who are listening, I put AI in quotes because like, in order for it to find the right knowledge base articles, which is supposed to be AI driven, the knowledge base articles have to have literally the words that would be in the ticket in the tags of the knowledge base article. That's not AI. That's just name matching, but it's claimed to be AI. You know what I mean? Like, it bothers me.
So, and you bring up a good point, because PSA is one of those places where a lot of vendors are trying to implement AI, right?
Yeah.
Everything from, I actually saw one the other day that was kind of cool that just kind of does what you were talking about, but it takes all of the information that's available inside of the PSA and makes it available right there on the side next to the ticket.
Yeah.
So instead of having to go type in a search and finding stuff, the most likely answers are right there over to the side, so you can use them or not, but it's kind of just an advanced search.
Right. That's not AI.
Without asking. Correct. But it has the feeling of AI, I guess. And yes, we're using a lot of air quotes on this show today. So you really ought to go watch us on youtube.com/at All Things MSP. But then you get the point with the PSAs where it actually tries to go out and solve the problem. Like it actually logs into something and changes a password or takes an action. And those are the ones that, quite frankly, scare me a bit.
Yeah, I mean, because that's a blend in my mind between AI and automation, right? Because you can write the automation, like I said, we're using Roost, right? Roost can go in and change someone's password, but a human has to button press to say that's okay. If we had a system where the AI read the ticket and the ticket came in and said, hey, I need my password reset, and it just went in and did it, no questions asked, that you're right. I would not, as an owner of a company, I would not want to enable that. Like, I understand the time saving, but like, what's stopping a fake email from coming in, and like a spam. Oh my, who's calling? I don't get phone calls. What? Like a fake email coming in, with a business email compromise or whatever, and saying, hey, reset my password. And now all of a sudden the AI has reset the password of a CEO and sent the temp password to the threat actor. Right. Like the human, it's funny. You mentioned like the human, no, you didn't say human loop. You said human, something else.
Human in the loop.
Human in the loop. That's it. Right. When you're scripting, there's a lot of times where you have to like pause the script or sleep the script, depending on what you're writing, because you're waiting for the reaction of the other half to finish. So that way the script can move on. That pause is now going to be human, right? Instead of writing sleep 5, you're going to write human 5, right? Because it's going to be a person now who has to check the work before it goes on. But then all of a sudden now, if a person's getting in the way, like, why did you start with the AI in the first place?
Well, and that's kind of the point, right? We're trying to drive all of these efficiencies, but with the level of hallucinations that still exist, to your point about the email compromise, I mean, how easy would it be for somebody to fool an AI that they are not the person who actually owns the email account,
right?
And has the right to change that password? Yes, there are a lot of rules we could put in, and honestly, I would almost feel safer with an automation going through, does this match, does this match, does this match, does this match, rather than handing that to an AI that could possibly go, I really don't care about that one.
Yeah. That's kind of where it's at, right? Like, if the automation before accepting a password reset email could like look at the headers of the email and make sure that the MX records match, or the SPF matches or something. I don't know how headers work. But something inside the headers that you can like cross check. That would at least, like, I think that's part of the problem, is that all of these AIs that are out there, it's still the Wild West and there's no safety checks put into place. Like, there needs to be, if we're going to modernize AI, we need to start thinking of it like a traffic system. We need stoplights. We need yield signs. We need men at work signs. Because like we need those systems in place in order to stop the AI from literally ordering $100,000 worth of tungsten cubes. Right? If there was a check and balance in Claudius, that wouldn't have happened. And I feel like we as a society, or especially in our field, like we're just like, all right, give it all to the robots because we want to make our lives easier because we have other things to do. But like, that's not a good way to look at it.
Yeah. And I think that there are going to be two things that happen relatively quickly because of this problem. One is we really do need to learn how to teach AIs properly, because I think teaching an AI does not happen the same way as you teach a human, because the potential for it to go off the rails much faster is a huge problem. And then the second thing that I think you're going to find, one of the ways I think people are going to try and solve this problem, is they're actually going to have multiple AI agents auditing each other.
No.
Well, it might work. It'll be interesting to see if that's effective or not.
Dude, you want to have the robots govern the other robots. We've all seen, insert literally any sci-fi movie ever, iRobot, The Matrix, those Matrix cartoon movies that came out in between Matrix and Matrix Revolution, like those first two that actually showed how the robots revolted. Like, all of these things, if the robot is to watch a robot, both robots are either going to A, kill each other, or B, team up and kill the humans. I'm not okay with an AI watching another AI.
Yeah,
and if that's your thing, you're listening to the wrong podcast. I'm sorry.
My theory, from a practical standpoint, though, if you think about it this way, is are the two agents going to hallucinate the same way?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, then you have a way to check an agent against an agent.
Oh man. Okay. The agents would have to be written by different programmers, right? So we can't have
Agreed.
ChatGPT, watching Sora because that's the same system. But then, like, you know what this is? This is Avengers: Age of Ultron, when Ultron came out of the Tesseract cube and Jarvis was trying to like help him out, and Ultron was like, you know what, dude, no, and then he attacked him and killed or what we thought killed Jarvis. Like it's that. It's that one will overpower another. Again, literally the premise of every sci-fi movie about robots ever. All Things at MSP, where we only talk about things that MSPs really need. Yeah, I don't like this idea. I get where you're coming from. I still just don't like it. Like, and maybe in 5-10 years will be the way it is, right? But the fact of the matter is, like, the AIs that are out there, Lady in the Box from Apple will just out of nowhere be like, I found 19 results for that thing, and I never even called on her. Lady in the Box from Amazon's like, you have 20 items on your shopping list, and I'm like, no, I don't. And it goes, yeah, you do, and it just lists random stuff. One time, true story, a couple of years ago, I was living in the old house pre-COVID. We're having Thanksgiving dinner, and I said something to my parents who were over, and the Amazon lady in the box was like, adding 500 Mac Pros to your Amazon list. And I was like, excuse me? Like, I can't trust the systems. Call me a pessimist. I don't care. I can't trust the systems enough to warrant that they are good enough to watch one another.
Yeah. So I think the bottom line here is MSPs have a role to play in controlling AI usage at their clients.
And in their own business.
Well, that goes without saying.
No, it doesn't. It has to be said, Eric. That's why we're here. Because, it's so easy to like want to turn it on. Like, my team is really keen on turning on a lot of these AI features. And I'm like, no. Why? Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you scared of the future? Join us at facebook.com/group/allthingsmsp and be worried with all of us. That's really what it is. This vending machine story, though, is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that but you know what? It reminds me of a story. It's a true story. Years ago, a friend of mine, he used to do a joke where, like, if you would say, like, I'm trying to think of like a word that ends in ER, like, oh, you look stronger. Stronger? I didn't even know her. Like, he would just, every time something ended with ER, he would say, like, I didn't know her. Like, that was the joke, right? And he programmed a Twitter bot, shows you how old this joke is, or this story is, to do that. And then, like, within a day, it got super racist.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
like, we haven't graduated from that.
So I actually looked into 3 other incidences that where AI went really wrong.
Is this the one where Microsoft started spouting, like, Nazi propaganda? Because that was a good one.
So yeah, the Microsoft's racist Twitter bot from 2016.
That was a good one.
I mean, we're talking almost 10 years ago now. Amazon had an AI hiring tool that was biased against women from 2014 to 2018.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought that was just people in another country, but that was their supermarkets.
Yep. And then Apple actually had a problem with their Apple Card algorithm where it was giving higher credit limits to men than women who actually had higher credit scores and higher salaries.
Right.
So this problem has been around a while.
It's been for a while, and it will continue to be better unless someone smarter comes along to fix it. It's not going to be us. Not that much. Well, if you're having AI problems, let us know. Facebook.com/group/allthingsmsp. Watch all of our air quotes at youtube.com/@allthingsmsp. Follow us on all of your favorite podcasting tools. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a review. You know what to do at this point. Actually, you know what? Have your AI do it. Tell your ChatGPTs to subscribe and leave a review for Eric and I. That's all I got.
And,
Okay.
have it tell all of your chatbot friends that, to subscribe so that we get those numbers up and maybe at some point can monetize this channel.
There we go. That works for me. Well, that's Eric. I'm Justin. Bye.
Thank you for listening or watching the All Things MSP podcast. If you liked this episode, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, hit that like button, and consider subscribing to catch all our weekly episodes. And from your host extraordinaire, Justin Esgar, and myself, Eric Anthony, your humble producer and All Things MSP founder, thank you very much for spending your time with us. If you are not aware, All Things MSP started as a Facebook group and now supports over 6,000 members. We also have a LinkedIn page for those of you who don't do Facebook, and make sure to check out our YouTube channel for even more content. A special thank you to our elite sponsor, CoreView, helping you manage your Microsoft 365 tenants instead of them managing you. And a big thank you to our premier sponsors, EasyDmark, Helped, GoZinta, MoveBot, and Nodeware. And thank you to the rest of our sponsors. Without sponsors, we could not do what we do for the MSP community. Please consider checking them out. The All Things MSP podcast is a BizPow LLC production. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not reflect the thoughts and opinions of any employer, vendor, sponsor, or random taxi driver in the Metro DC area. Be sure to join us next week for another exciting episode.